What's going on YouTube? This is Venikx from Team Night Ride. Today we're gonna give you a new deck profile of Kagura with the new clan selection cards. So we have the starter, and then for our 16 triggers, we have the 4 PGs because they're PGs, and 2 normal draw triggers, and then we have 6 crits because we like to crit our opponents as fast as we can. I decided to split between 6 and 6 because this deck does need draw power and at the same time still needs that extra critical. So I just divided 6 and 6 and it's worked well for me. And then we have our 4 heals. And then for the grade 1s, we have the 4 Lava Flow Dragon. This is the grade 3 searcher because you want to search out your pieces as quickly as you can while still maintaining that pressure. So he's the must ride for the first grade 1 for the deck. Moving on, we have 2 Sable Dragonute. He's another option for riding for your grade 1 if you don't see the Lava Flow Dragon, where when you attack, if it hits, draw a card. And then when it gets retired, when you retire something, you can retire himself and draw a card. So draw power and another good grade 1 to start off with. And then one of the pieces that you need is 4 Wyvern Strike Garen, where stuff just goes off when you have the grade 2 Doha, and then you can counter blast, draw, and soul charge. And then last for the grade 1s is 4 Flame of Hope Air Mode. This is the counter charger of the deck, and it's a 11k boost as a grade 1. So you need that. Plus it's draw power also. This deck has a lot of draw power. You absolutely must need it in order for you to get your plays going. Moving on to grade 2s, we have 3 Berserk Dragon. This is just standard. Grade 2 counter blast, soul blast, retire something, draw a card. And then we have 4 Dragon Dancer Farja. This is the one where in win plays, Vanguard, Rearguard, search top 5 for the Doha or the Garen, and add to your deck with no cost. It's free. So we play a 4 of it. And then last for the grade 2s is 4 of the Wyvern Strike Doha. This is another piece of the deck. Second to last piece of the deck, where when placed from hand, counterblast 1, search out the Garen and immediately call it. And then it has guard restrict when your opponent has no Rearguard. So we run this at 4. And then for the new clan selection card, which is the only clan selection card that we're using for this deck, is 3 Dauntless Drive Dragon. This is the card that you absolutely would like to ride into first. The reason being is because whether your opponent is at grade 2 or grade 3, you can restand by discarding 3, and it doesn't lose a drive. It still maintains its twin drive, and if you're using Force 2, you're swinging for 2 critical for 4 drive checks when your opponent is only at grade 2, which is pretty nuts. And if for some reason you don't reveal any triggers for any of the drive checks, it's not once per turn. So if you miss twice, you can give still something plus 10k any one of your Rearguards. So it actually says one of your normal units, so you can target himself as well. So, and then he has the ability where if you ride over it, all these abilities transfer. So this card you definitely would like to see to ride first, whether you go first or second. And it's just an awesome card. So far, it's worked. It's worked really, really well. And I've had no complaints. I mean, I've had plenty of complaints from my opponents, but not from me. Like it would really pressure when they're at grade 2 and I'm at the first riding grade 3, and then I would just set up for Blademaster, and then after that it's over. And then the next is 4 Dragonic Blademaster Soen. This is the one that you want to ride over the Dauntless Dragon with, because it will transfer all the abilities of Dauntless Dragon to Soen. So what Soen does is that discard 2 if you have the Garen and the Doha, retire your opponent's field, and if they have no field, call a vision token, and then both the vision token and this gets both plus 10k. And so combine that with the Dauntless, you swing with the Dragonic Blademaster first, and then discard 3, restand, then swing again, and then swing with the Vision Token with Twin Drive. So a total of 6 drive checks for very little cost. I mean, you are discarding, but you're maintaining that hand and back, and if you combine that with the Flame of Hope Airmo and the Sable Dragonute, you're constantly drawing really, really fast. This deck has potential to deck out, but so far we would beat our opponent, or the opponent would beat us before we even reach that level. And then the last card is the order card, the book. This one where it's Counter Blast 3, Soul Blast 3, Draw 3, and 3 of your front units gets plus 10k. We originally, before Dauntless, we would have this at 2 because the main grade 3 would be Blademaster, but I brought it down to 1 to make room for Dauntless. And so far, I mean, it's not a very reliant card as much anymore. If you have it, you have it. And this deck doesn't really Soul Blast that much. So actually, it does a little bit now because we're running Berserk Dragon. So most of the time throughout your games, this wouldn't usually happen with the cost with the Counter Blast 3 and Soul Blast 3. You would definitely have the Counter Blast, but not much of the Soul Blast. So I brought it down to 1. So like if you have it, then use it. I used it once so far while playing this deck, where I would ride the Dragonic Blademaster over the Dauntless and then discard my 2 cards and then blow up my opponent's board and then play the book. So everything had plus, well, the Vision and the Blademaster got plus 20k. And then my grade 2, which would be the Doha, would get plus 10k. And then I would swing for 6 drive checks. And if I don't hit any triggers, I would just still give stuff plus 10k. So it's very ridiculous. It's very nuts. So, but still, the book at 1, you know, I mean, if you have it, you have it. If you damage check, it's not the end of the world because you have 2 really broken grade 3s that work well together. So that's the deck profile. The deck is very simple, straight to the point. You're constantly just blowing up your opponent's board and then crushing them very, very, very early with the resend because like I said, there's no downside to it when it comes to twin drive. You don't lose a twin drive at all. And you just gain your hand back. And if you're running force 2s, like it can get deadly. So there's no real reason to run force 1s with this deck because of the fact that everything's getting power anyways. You mostly want to just use force 2 just to just crit your opponent as fast as you can and just really go aggro. So this deck does have potential to go aggro, but so far, I mean, it's done its job. So that's the deck. This is a Kagero deck. Please like, subscribe to Team Night Ride, and we'll see you next time. Bye.